guys, welcome to day 4 of Tools of the Trade, and we are in my bathroom because today I will be featuring mane and tail detangler spray. We're actually going to go back in time for this video because I recorded all of it while I was working on my wigs for Titania. So let's enjoy a little bit of voiceover and demonstration. So here you can see both wigs. This one has been treated with mane and tail and it does look a little wet. This one has not been treated with mane and tail and it's very tangled. So here I'm going to run my fingers through the one that has been treated and it's extremely smooth. That wet look will go away with some brushings, whereas the untreated wig, I can't even run my fingers through it. And it's not tangled, it's just coarse. So it probably will tangle easily. So let's get started with spraying this guy down. Sorry for the vertical video, it's the only way I could get these long wigs in there. I put my mane and tail into spray bottles because the bottles they come in have lids kind of like hairspray tops where they just squirt out a tiny bit, and it takes a year if you use those lids. So I put mine into a separate bottle. I now actually purchase, as you saw in the beginning, the large bottles that have these spray top lids, and they're much better. Do note that the method that I use does not conserve this. I'm quite liberal in my application. Definitely want to use gloves as this will make your hands all kinds of slimy. The first step is to section the wig out into parts. This will just make it easier to make sure you're getting the entire wig covered. So gotta separate this wig out into parts and then I start spraying. I actually start spraying from the top in the hopes that as I go it will kind of run down the wig so that I don't have to use quite as much. Again, I am very liberal when spraying this on and it does kind of drip off the ends because it's not that expensive. Sometimes I will put a catch basin underneath. The longest process is definitely going to be combing it out. Usually I do not recommend combing a wet wig, but this stuff is slick and it makes, there will be some hair loss, but it's not dramatic. So you just want to take time combing the fibers to make sure that that liquid is coating every strand possible. Just keep combing until it looks like everything is evenly coated. Sometimes I might run into a tangle that I actually feel like needs to be cut off, which I will, and then I'll just keep going. Usually it's not that big a deal. Then it's time to pull down your next strand and repeat the process. After the entire wig is done, I will sometimes wring it out a little bit and maybe catch the excess. Then I'll go over it with a blow dryer. This wig was far too long for me to take the whole time to dry it, but I just gave it a little bit of a head start. And again, the movement of the fibers is to make sure that it's all over every strand possible, and the heat just kind of helps seal the friction spray. After you're done drying it, if it's not completely dry, the only thing left to do is wait.
Several bad puns later.
After it's done drying, I go through with a brush and brush it. Again, something I would never do with a regular wig, because brushes are meant to rip out tangles. But after applying the spray, the wig is so smooth that the brush just slides right through without a problem. Sometimes I will then apply a straightener to any part that has been particularly stressed, but it's not absolutely necessary. And after all that, let's take a look at a little stress test. Spread out the fibers, run my hands through it. Remember before, I couldn't even put my fingers through this wig, it was too coarse. Now it's very, very smooth. It can handle the movement of being fanned out, and it just comes right back together and looks sleek and shiny as new. So there you go. I hope that was helpful. Mane and tail has been really hyped recently, and I've got to admit I'm totally aboard the hype train. It's so helpful. It does have a couple downsides. It does leave the wig feeling a little greasy, but it's nothing that'll rub off on your costumes, and it's so worth it to not have to worry about your long wigs becoming a tangled mess. So I recommend you give it a try if you struggle with tangling wigs, because it has saved me. So with that, happy crafting!